Hi, this is Tammie Bowser from Quilting Secrets Revealed, and I love quilting, but when I finish quilting my quilt, I'm always faced with binding the edges. So today I'm going to teach you how binding a quilt, how to bind your quilt. That's the edges, the unfinished edge after you've done all of your quilting. And if you don't know what that is just when the fabric, you sew another little piece of fabric on the edge and you wrap it around and then stitch it to the back, and it gives a nice finished look. It gives a nice beautiful edge so that it's durable. It make your quilt last longer, and you could use a contrasting or a complementary fabric to make it even better. So you cut your strips of fabric, you cut them on the bias, and that's on the diagonal grain, and you can see this little edge on those 2-inch strips. You'll cut 2-inch bias strips, and this edge will be on the straight grain. Make sure both are all edges. You'll have several strips. It depends how much you need, depends on just how big your quilt is. So measure around all sides, and then add a little bit extra and cut 2-inch bias strips, leaving these edges on the bias just as you see here. This video might be one you want to review again and again, because you might not remember once you get at the machine and ready to make your binding. So then you place them one on top of the other. This would be the front side. There'd be the front of the fabric together, and this is I'm seeing the back side right here, and then you stitch a 1/4-inch seam allowance on that edge just like that. Then you open it out and it'll be a straight piece ready to turn into the binding. You would then fold that binding piece in half. You see it's folded here, and then stitch it to the top unfinished edge on the front side of your quilt with a 1/4-inch seam allowance, just like this. And if you're wondering what happens when I get to the corners, well, that's easy too if you know exactly how to do it, and I'm going to show you how now. When you get to the corner, you're sewing the 1/4-inch seam allowance, and you get a 1/4-inch away from this corner, you stop. You could back tack it, but you stop. Then you fold your binding straight up, and you notice that this edge, those two raw edges of your binding, because this edge here is the fold, but this raw edge will line up straight with the edge, the side of the quilt, and there'll be a bias fold right here. It should look just like that. Then you fold that binding straight down, and matches again. All the raw edges match here on this corner, or on this edge, and then you start again with the 1/4-inch seam allowance right from the edge, and you take the pin out when you're finished, and when you flip this around to the front, you remember how I showed you here? Flip it around to the front. It's going to form a perfect corner. Easy to do. It'll be sharp, it'll be beautiful, and it'll be finished perfectly. Well, that's how you bind a quilt, and I hope you enjoyed that. Save this video so that you can follow along when you're ready to bind your quilts. I'm Tammie Bowser, and I hope you watch all of my videos. Thank you for watching. I have many more quilting secrets to reveal to you, and I even have free quilt patterns at my website. You can get there by clicking the link below this video.